Hi guys, my name is Nicole. Welcome back to my channel, Green Onion Vintage. I have an antique booth at a store called My Treasure House, and twice a year we do an outdoor tent event, which is a pretty big deal around here. We bring in a lot of new inventory, and so I always like to walk you guys through so you can see all of the pieces that we bring in for this event. Of course, most of you aren't going to be able to come shop this event because you're seeing this video too late to make plans to come travel here. But I do think it's fun to kind of see what other areas are selling and what prices are in areas aside from your own, because I know that prices really differ across the country. So I am going to show you some of the prices as I shop along. I don't show you everything though, but I do just want to give you some ideas for what to sell for Christmas time. Also some of the prices around here, like I said, and then just some ideas for how to display things. So if you are either looking for ideas for how to display in your own booth or just in your home, I think you'll find this video inspirational. At the very least, I'm sure you'll enjoy looking around at some of the vintage Christmas items that all of the vendors have brought in for this event. So we have about, I want to say 8 vendors in this shop. It's changed a little bit over the years, so I haven't done a full count for a while. Anywhere from 8 to 10 though, who are working on their booth on a very regular basis. And then the shop owners also have their own booth space as well. So everybody who has a space out here in the tent also has a booth indoors. I'm not doing an indoor shop with me today, but I have done many of those through the store, which is called My Treasure House. So if you want to see those, I will link those down below so you can go back and see what the inside of the store looks like. It's a pretty small shop nowadays, but it is packed with a ton of stuff. Everybody does a really good job of bringing in fresh inventory. At the store, we are allowed to sell newer items, handmade items, antique items, furniture, and the furniture can be newer. For the most part, though, I would say we sell vintage furniture that's been repainted or at least refinished so that it looks like new and operates really well. Or we have antique pieces and some really amazing primitive pieces. There's one piece in particular that is just an amazing green color. I show you this towards the end. It's like a big drafting table with a bunch of drawers. So that would probably be more of an antique. Primarily though, in our area, we're finding a lot of vintage pieces. It's not too hard to find something that falls within that vintage date range and that just needs a little bit of paint or even just some new stain and maybe some repairs on the drawers that make it more functional. So that's a lot of what sells in this shop as far as the furniture goes. Now here you're seeing just an amazing old, probably I want to say butter churn or ice cream bucket. And then that basket next to it for $30 I thought was beautiful. So honestly, if I go back tomorrow, which would be today when you're watching this video on Saturday, October 29th. If I go back up there to help clean up and that basket's still there, that might be something that I snag because I loved how oversized it was. Now the piece you're looking at now is one that my mom refinished. So her and I do the booth Green Onion Vintage together. She's asking $170 for it. So her and my dad do a lot of the refinishing of the furniture nowadays. And they like to have the bare front drawers with that Dixie Belle off-white paint. I thought that one came out beautiful. And this is a Route 66 dining table that my mom did. It's just a smaller round table. And then the 4 black chairs are separately priced at $80. But they gave those a fresh new paint job. That's just really beautiful. I think it's one of the newer Dixie Belle blacks in the silk paint, which is, it has the primer and the top coat built in. So those came out really pretty. $85 for the set of 4 there, but they were really sturdy. I was surprised because sometimes with a vintage chair, especially with lots of spindles like that, they can get a little rickety, but they are in really great shape. You might recognize that "We Wish You a Merry Christmas" sign from the video I shared just yesterday when I showed you everything that I was going to take into the tent sale. I didn't bring in a lot this year. I've just been really busy, but you are going to see most of the inventory that I brought in this booth picture here. And then a few of the more fragile items we took inside. The tent does tend to be pretty rough on things, so we only put things out here that don't get damaged very easily and that don't blow over very easily. It always seems like something goes wrong where like a tall kind of rickety piece falls over, or we just lose something fragile, or something gets wet and ruined. Normally things, are salvageable, but we have had to be really careful in the past with weather. We got so lucky this year with our event being at the end of October. We just have the most beautiful weather. We've had wonderful warm weather here for October. It's been beautiful, like almost like upper 60s for almost a whole month, which is pretty rare for us. Normally we don't have a great fall. It kind of goes from blazing hot summer right into like a very chilly fall. So we've been loving the weather here, but the wind can be a huge factor when you're doing an outdoor event. Might not be something you think about. So when you're looking at a forecast and you are maybe newer at doing outdoor events, make sure that you're also considering the wind, because I tended to used to only like worry about rain or storms or snow, which we have had outdoor tent events in all of those conditions. But the wind is actually one that can make it even harder. So I mean, at least harder to prepare for and harder to block. So it's actually not too hard to block the rain. You just have your overhead tent. But the wind can get pretty bad. So we've just been so lucky with the weather this time. Walking you through here, trying to give you some close-ups of the smaller items. Outdoors, we tend to do mostly big items, but we do like to decorate for Christmas, of course. So we have so many just little cute vintage decor pieces. Pretty much anything you could think of. And like I said, this is just a small sample of what we would typically have in the store too. So if you are within driving distance of my treasure house, I would definitely check it out, especially right after this tent sale, because most things that can fit back into the store will go back into the store. So there's a ton of inventory typically right after a tent sale. It's a really good time to come shop with us. And of course, shopping during the Christmas time is even more special than any time of year. We have a lot of good crafters in the store also. So things like the sled you're seeing there, and then these painted architectural pieces are so cool. And I haven't even showed you the most amazing green piece yet. You can kind of see the back of it, I think, right there. It is so cool. But lots of goodies here. As far as things that I would buy, I mean, there's a ton of things, but that set of enamel canisters right there, I definitely have my eye on. So I'm going to check today when you guys are watching this, I'm going to check on these canisters for $25. I thought that was a good price. I love that they're the green and the white. I feel like that's a little bit harder to find than like the red or the blue. So I'm going to check on those canisters. I'm going to check on the oversized basket that I showed you earlier. And those would probably be the two things that I purchased this time around. I know that these suitcases were painted using the Iron Orchid Designs. They're not transfers or like paint inlays. I haven't tried them yet, but basically you paint your piece and then you can lay these inlays on the wet paint and it will transfer over the image, but they're actually reusable. So you can use them for, I think, 4 or 5 projects. So that's what was on those suitcases there. And you can order Iron Orchid Designs from my treasure house online and they will ship anywhere in the US. So I will have all that information down below. I think it's easiest to go to their Facebook page, but I'll see if I can get their Shopify website too, because I think that's kind of what they're using most for online sales. And you can order a ton of Iron Orchid Designs from her. Cindy is the shop owner and she is a full stockist for Iron Orchid Designs. So she always has a ton of inventory on hands. It seems like she always has stuff that people are looking for and can't find anywhere else too. So I would definitely check out her site down below if you are interested in any of the Iron Orchid Designs. And I think she even has Christmas stuff still for this year. I love that white sofa table right there. I think that one's so pretty. Going into another booth here. This is the Design House space by Ivan, and you've maybe seen him share some of his work in some of the crafting Facebook groups. So he uses a lot of the Iron Orchid Designs too. And from what I've seen him post on Facebook, he actually uses a lot of Oops paint from, I think, maybe like Home Depot or Lowe's. I think that's what one of the light blues was that he was using. So just a really affordable way to upcycle furniture. You certainly do not always have to go out and get the most expensive products to make an amazing transformation. So I love that he's always featuring how he's doing things on a dime. Just has some really creative handmade things and a good mixture of antiques in there as well. And here it is. This is one of my most favorite pieces of furniture that I've seen in ages. I love the old green. It has all of these drawers. It's such a solid piece. Like, I'm sure when they moved it, it probably weighed like 200, 300 pounds. Okay, that might be an exaggeration, but honestly, it looks like it weighs a ton. It is such like a solid, heavy piece of furniture. And it does have a slope top similar to like a drafting table. So I don't know, guys. I have my eye on that. I think they're asking something like $495, which is more than I would want to spend at this point. But if it hangs around in the shop for a while and I still get to look at it, I am going to be really tempted to purchase that. I'm just gonna have like a couple more booths to walk you guys through. This is the Green Bird booth. She's a little newer at our store. I don't know though. It's probably been close to a year if I actually did the math. And she's just really, really talented and has a really great eye. Another booth that is just really good at mixing antiques and newer items, and then handmade goods, as well as just pieces that have to be painted and brought back to life. So this is another really fun one to look through. All right, guys, that's going to be it for today's video. If you're watching this as soon as I post it, you might have a chance to come see this tent sale if you are in the area. We end today, which is October 29th at 4 p.m., but normally we start cleaning up a little bit before that. So we would love to see you out here, though, if you have time today to come shop with us. Otherwise, we are open Monday through Saturday, 10 in the morning till 5 during the week, and then 10 to 4 on Saturdays. Like I said, we tend to have a lot of extra inventory right after these tent sales and then throughout Christmas as well. So it'd be a really good time to come shop with us. I hope you enjoyed this look through of the booth. Even if you can't come shop with us in person, it's always kind of fun to look through what other people are working on. So I hope you had fun shopping this with me. I have more DIY videos coming up soon, so make sure you subscribed if you haven't done so yet, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!